Hey YouTube, it's time to start baking for the holidays around here. If you're following our series, you know I am starting on our big holiday party, and the first thing I always make is the fruitcake, and I use the term very loosely. I call it fruitcake, but it's rum cake. If you hate fruitcake, and everyone you know hates the fruitcake with those weird colored, I don't really know what they are, maybe cherries, the weird bits of colored fruit inside of some bread product, this is for you. Nothing about this is like that. This is like a very, very low flour based cake that's more like a pudding. It's got a lot of molasses and it has real fruit. The only nod I do to those holiday fruits is the citron. I'll get a little pack of that. That's going in there, but I am using real organic coconut. I am using real walnuts. I've done pecans. I am doing 3/4 of a cup of mixed dried fruit. And this can be, what's lovely about this, pick the fruit. You can do whatever kind of fruit you want. This, I always use golden raisins. It has currants, golden raisins, dried apricots, and dried cranberries. But you could use whatever dried fruit you love. If you want to make it more of a tropical thing, you could do mango and papaya. It'd be great with rum. Oh. And then the whole thing is soaked in beautiful, spiced rum. And I used to use Myers Dark, and just last year I just switched to a spiced dark rum. Either one is wonderful because you've got enough flavor going on in here, but you're going to soak it in rum, wrap it in cheesecloth, and put it in a dark place to wait until Christmas and then open it. And anyone who hates fruitcake will eat this. It's so good. And it'll hold forever. You can eat it much, much later than Christmas because of the rum. It's preserved. So I'm just going to go ahead and put all the fruit in the food processor. There's the coconut. And what's nice is you can use all organic too, which I really prefer to do as much as I can. Here's the weird lemon peely stuff, but do not buy those. I don't know what those are, those weird cherry green and red things. Real nuts, and you can use whatever kind of nuts you want, or you could leave them out. You could leave out the coconut. What's beautiful about it is you can make it with whatever fruit your family loves, or anything that goes with rum. So we are going to whiz these together, and this is sort of a 2-day process. We're going to process these so they're very small, and then this mix is going to get covered in rum. It's going to soak in the rum overnight, and then tomorrow we're going to come back and bake the cake. Look how gorgeous that mix looks. And then you're going to take 1/4 cup of the rum, and we're just going to pour it right over the fruit. And then that gets covered with saran wrap for tonight, and tomorrow we'll come back and mix that into the cake batter, and I'll show you how this works. The next day, this has sat overnight and it's soaked up all that lovely rum, and this gives you a little bit of leeway. It's up to 24 hours, so plan accordingly if you're going to make this. We're going to set that aside, and I have all of my ingredients. This is why, if you look up above, I have all these copper tins above my cabinets. This is pretty much the only time I use them. I have these. I've got 2 of those, and I will measure and let you know how many cups of batter. This is a single batch that I'm going to make, and I love this. This is a very old vintage, and it's got the fruit pattern on it, and it's a nice size. So I may use that one. I'm going to see if I can make one and just fill this. The other thing you will need if you're making this recipe cheesecloth, you cannot make it without cheesecloth, because when you're done, you're going to wrap these cakes. Part of the aging process for the cakes is that they're going to be taken out, cooled on a rack, soaked with rum. Then this gets soaked in rum and wrapped around the cake. So you're doing a rum-soaked cheesecloth wrap. And then that gets wrapped in tin foil, and then the whole thing sits. You can actually let these sit for 1 month to up to a year. We just ate one from last Christmas, and it was delicious. So they can sit for a while. So I do have all of my ingredients laid out here. We've got brown sugar and unsalted butter there, molasses, egg, cinnamon, and baking soda, a little bit of milk, 1/2 cup of cake flour, which I'm going to sift because cake flour tends to be lumpy. And then we are going to use nonstick spray and a heavy coat of flour to go inside these pans. These are always cross your fingers and pray a little when you unmold anything out of these kind of pans. They're not simple. And for anyone who wants this recipe, I will link it in the description down below so you can see exactly what I made here. Okay, once you have the batter mixed and everything is blended, you'll see it's fairly curdly. You've got milk and egg and molasses in there, so it's going to look a little separated. And this is when you just go ahead and add all of that soaked fruit and nut mixture, and make sure you get all the, any liquid that's in there. It's going to be pretty much soaked up into the fruit. And we're going to just beat that until it's combined, and it will look pretty curdled when it's done because you've just added alcohol to the mix. Okay, so we've got the batter mixed up, and let's clear a little space here, and I will show you. This is basically the trick I learned from my mom, so I'm pretty sure this is still the thing, but if not, it's just what I do. Take nonstick spray, and we're going to coat this really well, and you want to make sure that you get oil in, especially on a pan with a lot of shaping in the bottom of it. You want to make sure that you get oil. I've got it pretty heavy, but this is just how I do it. And then I have an old, like a Pampered Chef flour shaker, and I just dust inside there like that. And then you're gonna just basically just take your hand and turn it and tap and tap. And take all that loose flour until you can see that you've got flour and oil on every surface. And if you do it right, you don't end up with any excess to even dump out. There's a little bit of dusting on the counter here. So that is ready for batter. And this doesn't have to fill this cake pan all the way. I like it to be a shallow cake, but what's neat is the shape that you're gonna get when you unmold this. You're gonna have those lovely fruit shapes on the top of a fruit cake. So I will just just spread it so it goes out to the edges and kind of fills out the little scallop on the edge of the pan. And then that is ready to go in the oven. We have a preheated oven that is 325 degrees right now. And this is gonna go in just on a metal rack for about 40 to 45 minutes. So while that is in the oven, you're going to take the cheesecloth we talked about, and I just open it up you want to have enough, and this is usually, it's wrapped in layers, so you're gonna have enough, but I just pull off enough to make sure you can wrap it and cover this whole cake when it comes out of the oven. So I'm just gonna cut a piece of it off like that. And I've got about that much, maybe 18 inches. And what you're going to do next is take your rum, and we're going to just put a tablespoon of rum in a Pyrex glass measuring cup. Then you're going to take your piece of cheesecloth, and we're just going to put it right down in there. And it doesn't seem like much rum, but it'll be enough. And you're just wanting to get that cheesecloth damp. And you can take it apart and, kind of shake it out and move it around so that you've got kind of a damp feel to that whole piece of cheesecloth, because we're going to wrap this around the actual cake when it comes out of the oven. But we're also going to sprinkle cake with rum, and then we're going to wrap it with this, and then we're going to sprinkle more rum. There's going to be lots of rum. It's so good when it's done though. Like if you hate fruitcake, just try a single batch of this. It is so good. It's so good. It's good anytime, but it's really nice with just coffee in the morning. So I'm going to let that sit until the cake comes out of the oven, and then I'll show you how we lay everything out and get that wrapped with that cheesecloth so that we can get it stored until Christmas. We're going to pull that out and just set it on a rack to cool. And there's our cheesecloth that's been sitting in some rum. I covered it so it wouldn't evaporate out. And we're going to let this sit on the rack to cool for 10 minutes. After that has sat for 10 minutes, we're going to actually sprinkle it with 2 tablespoons of the rum. And it soaks it pretty well. Like I said, this cake is very well preserved with the rum. I try and make sure I get it on all the surfaces, top, sides, middle, and I try not to miss any. And then we're going to wrap it. So lay out a piece of saran wrap bigger than the cake. And this is where you're going to take your cheesecloth out that's been sitting and it's damp from the rum. Shake it out and open it. And you can see it's in layers. So we've got enough there to well cover the cake. And this does feel damp from the rum. So that 1 tablespoon of rum didn't seem like much, but it was enough. So we've got the damp cheesecloth laid out on a piece of saran wrap. And we're going to take our cake And this is sort of the moment of truth, because if it doesn't unmold from the oil and flour, then I guess we're in trouble. So I will usually give it just a little kind of shake it and see if you've got at least get the edges loose, because they're scalloped. You can't really get a knife in there to loosen them. But it looks pretty good. So you guys are seeing this on camera first. I just take it and quickly flip it over, right? So it's going to be face up on this cheesecloth. Ready? And then we lift it. And there you can see, pretty good. Not too much got left in the pan. So we have a nice top. You can see that top. It smells so good. And you can see some of the flour, but that's not going to be a problem because it's going to get soaked in more rum. So here we take a tablespoon of the rum. We did 2 tablespoons on the bottom. So we're going to soak the top with just 1 more. And again, I try and get it, make sure you're getting all of the parts as much as you can. You don't want to overdo one part and miss another part. And again, this is what preserves it. And this is going to age and mellow. And that rum is going to preserve it. And it's going to be so, so good. And while it's still warm, we're going to take the cheesecloth that's still damp from the prior rum. And we're just going to cover it. And you want to press it right onto the sides. You don't want to have any gaps. I just bring it up and wrap the sides. Kind of want to make sure that you have the whole thing as evenly covered with this damp cheesecloth as you can, but it's not, you don't have to be too super particular. The main thing is that we're getting it covered. And all sides of it basically have more than one, except for the bottom, obviously. They have more than one layer of this lovely cheesecloth and the rum. And then we're going to take the saran wrap and do the same thing and just get it fairly snug. And the cake is still warm. And this is that sticky press seal. So you can kind of use it to stick to itself to kind of press. We've got that. It's not beautiful, but we just want it sealed up. And then I take another layer and just make sure it's pressed on nice and snug. And go under this. Oh, it's nice. It's so heavy from all the rum. This is going to be so good. And I would love to show you a piece of it cut open on a plate, but this has to sit until Christmas. So that is wrapped. It's got the cheesecloth and then the plastic wrap. And now we're going to let this cool to room temp. We're going to let it cool all the way down. And then the final thing I'm going to do is wrap it again in a really nice tight layer of tin foil once it's all the way cooled off. So I'm just going to set it on the rack and it's going to wait until it's cooled. We'll wrap it in tin foil and then I just put it in its own little container, just like a dollar store container with a lid like that. And that is going to go in the cabinet after it's wrapped in the tin foil, and it will sit for a month to 12 months. Like I said, we just ate one that was almost a year old and it was delicious. But this one, I can't show you the opening and cutting until the Christmas party. So you'll have to watch the Christmas video to see what it looks like unwrapped and plated if you want to see the finished product.